Hey there, how's it going? This is Malta. An amazing day on the northwestern side of the island of Malta. And I believe that right there must be Gozo. There are three main islands that make up the archipelago of the country of Malta here in the Mediterranean Sea. Malta is the name of this island here. And then Gozo, and then the smallest one is Comino, which is like other side of that stick of land there between Gozo and Malta. I'm just out here like exploring randomly, trying not to get completely sunburnt. And around the corner over there is a beach that according to one article, the person that wrote that article considered that to be the best beach on Malta. So I'm going to walk over there and show it. I was here yesterday and ate at that restaurant right there. Really awesome restaurant, especially for sunset. Just the ultimate dining experience. Live music and a really good crowd and amazing views. But I didn't show the beach properly in that video that I made. And so I thought that I would make another video and show more of this really cool area. Very unique, classic Mediterranean landscapes, and a little trail here that I just kind of ended up on. And so I'm going to head over there and just give a feel for these islands beyond the main tourist area. I actually came through this little cave here, so I'll walk through it. Nice and cool in here. And so today is my last day in Malta. I fly out tomorrow. I've been here for 8 days. It's been really great, and it really deserves longer. This is such an incredible country and group of islands that are so packed. So much to see beyond just beaches. The villages are amazing. The architecture is incredible. Very unique. The history is just mind-boggling of all the different empires that have occupied these islands in a strategic spot in the middle of the Mediterranean over thousands of years. There are some of the oldest temples in the world on this island. Right next to the B&B that I stayed at last night, the last 2 nights, is a temple that is like from 3600 BC, and so that is 5,600 years old. Just kind of a clustering of random rocks at this point and some kind of pillar-like things, but the history here is just staggering. And then more recently, the British occupation and the various structures that they built. The watchtowers, you can see one right there. There are more that you can see from right in this area. They were constructed so that you can see one, and then from there, if you're standing at that spot, you can see another, so that they could communicate with each other and warn each other of a coming attack. The Popeye village is here. The set for the movie from 1980 with Robin Williams, Popeye. They made this whole town and left the set up, and you can go visit it, walk around it. It must be kind of cool, but I've avoided it because of the no doubt crowds of screaming kids and whatnot. Also, there's just too much to see on this island to see everything. People have been recommending all kinds of stuff, and I just can't get to it all, especially in just 8 days. So I will definitely make plans to come back again. For one thing, I didn't explore Gozo properly. I just visited on a boat tour for a few hours, but it sounds really nice and worth a few days just there. And then you could go to Comino and the Blue Lagoon, which I also visited on that boat tour, and it was just a crazy packed tourist scene. But if you stay there overnight, then you would be there after the crowds leave, after the boats take off. This might have been carved out. Kind of looks like it. See, another piece of history there. And so if you went to Comino and stayed the night and stayed in the hotel, there's one hotel, or else just like camped out, then it would be a really unique experience to be there in the evening and through the night with basically nobody else around. And so there you go. I don't know how to pronounce that beach. It's a tough one, but I think it is also called Riviera Bay. And then this trippy ridge here, and then once again another cool beach here. And I think I'm going to walk down to that one in the course of this video. I already took a swim there. I stopped at the restaurant there for lunch earlier. And I am ready for another swim. That sun is baking, as you can imagine. And so I will honestly say that Malta does not have the best beaches in the world. They're not terrible or anything, but they're definitely not on par with places I've been that really have like the best beaches. You can see here, then it's kind of a narrow strip. It's rocky there. There's kind of a lot of seaweed. There was a lot of funk in the water, not garbage, but just like pieces of seaweed and stuff. And the water wasn't all that clear. And somebody voted this the best beach in Malta. It's nice, it's amazing. I mean, this is, you know, a real Mediterranean island paradise here, and no complaints. But there are certainly places in the world with nicer beaches. But fortunately, Malta has a lot more to offer than just beaches, and the beaches are worth hanging out on anyway. All right, it's gonna be a little tricky getting down here. It's not a great path. Let's see. We have one here, and then it gets super steep over there. And then there's another one. Let's see. Okay. I think that is the best option. One more shot of the Riviera Bay here. And then I like the look of these, I don't know what the heck you would call those, but you know, little like points sticking out. Actually, the best water I found has been not at the beaches, but at more rocky places. It tends to be clearer water. All right, let's see if I can get down here without totally falling on my butt. This is kind of crazy. Probably you can access it from over there as well. It's like a chute. Halfway down. And so let's see, a few more like Malta travel tips. Number one is don't come in high season. It is high season right now. It is actually August 1st. It is more expensive, it is super crowded, and it is super hot. If you come in, I'd say April or May, September, October, November, then it will be better in all regards. a little cooler, cheaper, less people. And then it is a small island, but it is a little tricky getting around by bus. It still works. I did that for the first few days, but it is highly densely populated. Malta is the 10th smallest country in the world, but it is the 5th most densely populated country in the world. And there's a lot of towns like scattered all around the island. Okay, just gonna go for it here. Ooh. And so if you're on a budget, then you can get around by bus, and they're nice and cheap, 2-3 euros, but they will take a while. They make a lot of stops, they get stuck in traffic, they make very winding routes, and so preferably then rent a car, which is what I did for the past 3 days, and then you can really explore the island properly. It costs about $60 per day, including all taxes and insurance, and was totally worth it. It would have been kind of impossible to see all of the things that I packed into each of those days trying to get around by bus. But if you're on a budget, then buses work. As for accommodation, it is very expensive, but probably cheaper in the low season. I found rooms for about 40 bucks. Actually, the one that I stayed last night was just 30 euros for the second night, because I paid in person as opposed to on booking.com. So 30 euros is like 33 bucks for a private room with a shared bathroom, but nice place. So that is a great deal. You can find good deals, but a lot of the hotels are more like $80, $100 and up from there for the more typical hotels, like right on the beaches and stuff. And so if you're on a budget, then you might want to check out hostels or find the more like super budget hotels. All right, this is looking better. The water is clearer. Doesn't have all that seaweed. And food is quite reasonably priced. Drinks, 2, 3, 4 euros. Meals for 10 to 20-ish, all depending on whether you're in the main tourist zone or in a more local town. And just being here a week, I can easily say that Malta is one of my favorite places in the world. It has been so fascinating. Such a great mix, from the beaches to the history, the forts and the architecture in the towns. And the people have been really nice, good food, not too expensive. So a great destination to explore for at least a week, and quite easily more. All right, I'm going to finish this video here and get in that water.